Good morning. Ironically, that's not just a wish. That I'm actually talking about the coffee that I'm going to be discussing here on Coffee Taste Review, CasualTalkRadio.net's new series. My name is Leister. I'm your host, and good morning is indeed the name of the coffee that I'll be talking about. It's from Java Planet. Java Planet's from the East Coast, so if you're familiar with them, you probably already know about the coffee, maybe. But there are people that don't. They're not aware of the different flavors and blends of coffee, and I'm going through methodically different coffees from around the nation, in some cases around the world, but mostly around the nation, and sampling them as a coffee connoisseur as I happen to be. And Good Morning is one of the samplers I bought for Java Planet. I have Java Planet. I usually do their Peru organic blend for decaf. It's one of my go-tos, but I figured I wanted to try some of the other ones and see if I could get another one. This Good Morning is not decaf. It's a straight caffeinated coffee. It's organic. Java Planet, the vast majority of theirs are organic coffee, so if that appeals to you, it's something to definitely check out. Described as a delicious medium roast blend of South American coffees, perfect for any time of day. I did brew it up, and here's what I thought about that statement. First of all, this is not, in my opinion, a coffee I would drink in the later afternoons. It's not that you couldn't. I just don't feel it blends well, no pun intended, to the later afternoon. It feels like it works better as a morning coffee, as per its name. It has a subtle, there's no acidity, it's very smooth. It has a subtle taste that just screams breakfast. It screams like it wants to be drunk with your eggs and your bacon and your toast, or forego the bacon if you happen to be a vegetarian, let's say. But it screams like it wants to be drunk with breakfast. In fact, it tastes very similar to the original version of McDonald's coffee. If you are old enough to remember back that far, McDonald's coffee had a very distinct taste to it. This reminds me very closely of how McDonald's coffee used to taste, back before they ruined the roasting. Now, that said, because it reminds you of McDonald's coffee way back then, it means it's nowhere near as strong as some people like theirs. There are people that love their coffee to be like tar or without the bitterness, but they want it to be a darker roast. This is absolutely not that. I would lean this more towards a blonde roast. It's medium, but it leans blonde. It's a very light sensation. If I were adding creamer, regular cane sugar is probably okay. I wouldn't do a lot of it, but some people are that. As far as flavored creamer, I would probably only stick with caramel, maybe like a caramel macchiato if you have a straight caramel creamer, or if you have the Starbucks straight sweet creamer, maybe. I wouldn't do a lot of it. I wouldn't overkill it to get the perfect flavor out of it. As again, I don't sweeten my coffee, but I'm putting my frame based on the flavor of it in the mind of somebody that might want to sweeten it without ruining the basic flavor of it is the key. So like a French vanilla, I think it wouldn't ruin the flavor. It would kind of dominate your senses too much, in my opinion. A chocolate would probably be too deep, too rich. The hazelnut would probably be okay, but it might add a little bit of bitterness that some people might not want on the aftertaste. This doesn't have an aftertaste by itself. So the key is to find a creamer that's not going to contribute to an aftertaste that wasn't already there. Accentuate the flavor without ruining the basic flavor. And then if you're looking for sweetness, obviously it has to be a flavor that's compatible with this one. And to me, I feel caramel is the most compatible in what I taste sense of this coffee. It's a good coffee. And again, I would stress it as, in my opinion, a morning coffee, not an any time of the day coffee. It clearly feels like a breakfast type of coffee, something in the morning. It's one where it would not be the only cup I would drink. It's one where I can see myself drinking it once per day in the morning as maybe the first cup of the morning. So I do plan to, these are whole bean. So I do plan to put this in the hopper, and it'll be probably the first cup that I drink just to kind of wake myself up, get the senses rolling for the business day, and then pair it with one of the other flavored coffees, which would have to be a ground coffee perhaps, or leave the hopper low enough that I could interplay between the whole beans. That I haven't decided yet. And obviously I need to keep myself positioned to do these types of coverages. But anyway, Good Morning from Java Planet. It's a really good coffee. I wouldn't call it a great coffee, but it's a good coffee for the normal coffee drinkers out there, the ones that just want a regular taste sensation. They're not trying to be overwhelmed. They want something that wakes them up a little bit in the morning without making them jittery. That's another piece. Organic, well taken care of. Java Planet's a great brand. So do check out the various Java Planet brands. I'll be talking about those over time as well, because I think I have almost every one that they offer. And then, of course, I've got my Peru in full bag. So I will be talking about those over time. I have to figure out the cadence of these reviews. I don't want to overwhelm it. I don't want to underwhelm it. And then I want to add enough time, to let you absorb between. And then, of course, as more people find the show, and if there's a definite interest in doing it, then I might adjust the cadence and increase the speed of the review. So definitely check out Java Planet. Great coffee for the normal coffee drinkers out there.